Hi, Delta. How are you doing?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm good. Congratulations on passing PMP exam.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling?
Super proud. I don't think it's quite hit yet, but yeah, super proud.
Wow, well deserved.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much for the time, Delta. This would be really helpful for everybody who would be uh, taking the exam. So, let's start with your brief introduction, your professional background, where do you work, and your uh, project management experience specifically.
So I've got probably 25 years of financial management experience. Just moved into operations at near the beginning of the year. Officially became project manager in March of this year. So I've got, lots and lots and lots of experience babysitting project managers, just never officially been on the other side. I live and work in Alaska, so joining your boot camp at 6 a.m. on the weekends was fun. Had to make sure I went to bed early the night before, but um, yeah. So my employer approached me and said, it would be nice if, since you don't have the experience, to go to the client and say, hey, look, she does know what she's talking about. So that was the whole reason for um, actually doing the PMP. I flirted with it for years and years, from the financial management side, but never was given that push or that opportunity. So here I am.
All right, great. So, when did you attend my boot camp and how much total time you spent in preparation?
I was in your boot camp the last 2 weekends in March.
Okay.
Um, and how much preparation time? So I think I ordered the Rita's book the very first time that you mentioned it. As soon as you sent the link and I knew I had the right book, I ordered it. And I think it took about a week to get here. Alaska's a little behind the times, so it takes about a week for Amazon stuff to get here. So then I kind of started reading it, got through chapter 4, kind of put it down, kind of not forgot, but just kind of, lost I guess, life happens. So then I think I got a push about a week later when one of my classmates was in the WhatsApp and said something about being approved, and I was like, "Oh shoot, I got to get on that." So I went in and did my application and got approved within a couple days. And then I think I waited another week or so, and put the course materials aside and kind of picked them back up. And I said, "Okay, I need to like schedule a date that I am gonna do this exam because otherwise I'm just gonna procrastinate, and never get the actual exam done." So I made my date for Sunday. I am about an hour from the nearest testing center, so I went ahead and decided to do it in my office here at work on a Sunday afternoon, um, thinking that I would have um, the best. It would be the best place for me, which I'm glad I passed the first time, because if I had to retake it, I would definitely take it at the center. It would alleviate a whole bunch of hoops I had to jump through to have taken it at the center. But yeah, so then I took the test on Sunday the 2nd, and I would say within 12 hours later, I was a little bit after that. So I took the test, scheduled at noon, and I logged in the next morning, Monday morning, and 7 a.m. and the results were there.
All right, great. And what are the resources you used for preparation?
First your boot camp, and then Rita's and all of the handouts that you had provided in class. And then I joined the WhatsApp. I wasn't able to attend live, so I had them running in the background, because you provide enough time to in those recordings to be able to answer the questions, write down my question, and then kind of go back to work and do whatever I was doing. And then um, I was able to listen into your explanations and why I was right or why I was wrong. So those were my resources. But like I said, I only got through chapter 4 or chapter 5 of the Rita's book. I didn't get through that very much of that one.
All right. And how important or relevant were those Q&A sessions that we conduct every day?
Obviously very relevant, considering that was probably the biggest, the most amount of time spent on those resources. So yeah, I would say very, very, very important.
All right. And what was the percentage of agile-based question or waterfall question, or if you can talk about distribution of these different methodologies in the exam?
I would say a good portion was agile.
All
Um,
right.
Probably about 90%.
Oh, really? 90%?
Yeah, it seemed like almost all of them were agile.
All right. And your professional experience is mainly in agile or waterfall or both?
Definitely waterfall. I come from nowhere software related. It's all been construction and construction related activities, oil and gas, that kind of stuff. So yeah, strictly waterfall.
So
Agile
how,
was not that it was a new concept, but the specifics of it were new to me.
right. And how did you tackle that? Because most of the things were new to you.
Just learning as much as I could. Anytime you introduced a new concept in class, made sure to write notes and then, go and research it if I needed to. But I mean, you did a great job in class explaining the concepts, and I was able to at least functionally put together a experience and kind of tie my experience to some sort of an agile relationship, obviously.
All right. And were there any other topics in the exam where students should focus on?
Just like everybody else has said, agile, and then the people portion. There were some answers that, when you're being video proctored, you're not supposed to make any noise. And there were a couple times that I had to chuckle out loud because just some of the answers were so outside, like there's no way that they would have been accurate. So there was probably three or four of them where they were just so preposterous that there's absolutely no way that they were the correct answer.
Yeah, absolutely. So they add some questions like that. You think, oh, none of the options is right. What should I do? So yes,
I did have a couple of those, yeah.
all right. And did you have any questions where you did some sort of mathematical calculation?
No, they did ask one, uh, and I don't even remember what it was, but there was no calculation you had to do, and they did throw some figures out there, but there was no calculation in the answer.
All right. And did you have any question regarding drag and drop or cross match where there are two columns and you have to drag options from left to right?
Yeah, I think there were probably three or four of those on there, and the way that they word them was a little confusing. So I
Yeah.
essentially was able to pick one that I knew for sure and then just kind of eliminate from there. Those were probably the most difficult for
Yes,
me.
they are. They are. Based on experience of students who have recently passed the exam, drag and drop are challenging, and you can expect drag and drop from risk section regarding responses, from people management, Bruce Tuckman team development model. So similar topics. So yes, and scheduling as well. So these are really challenging. What was the average length of the statement of the question, like one-liner, two-liner, three-liner, or if you could compare the length of question of real exam question with the mock exams that we do in our daily sessions?
The mock exams were by far more in-depth, um, had more detail or more of a scenario. I was pleasantly surprised that there, excuse me, probably were maybe 3 lines max on the actual exam. Whereas the mock exams, the Q&A sessions, you've definitely done your homework and spent the time, and you can tell, to fully give the option to discuss the topic. So it's if you are doing well in the mock exams, which I was not, so I was a little worried. But if you're doing well in the mock exams, then the exam should be no problem.
All right. What was your average percentage of marks in the mock exams?
The Q&As I didn't really take. I didn't take good notes. I probably was 50-60%, so getting about half of them right. But then also understanding, after you went through the discussion with the people in the call, understanding where my thinking, what I had missed in the question. So I probably was choosing that least or the lesser correct answer, right? So, there's always the two that could be right, the one that's absolutely not right, and then one that is kind of like a like off topic. So I probably in the Q&A sessions was probably picking the less or less correct option. I was really discouraged on Saturday night, the night before the exam, because I finally pulled back out the mock exams that you had given us in the boot camp, and I got like 53 and 64 and 44% or something like that. And so I was so super stressed out. I was like, you know what? Either I know it or I don't. I'm just going to go and take the exam. And if I have to retake it, then I have to retake it.
Yes, absolutely. If someone is attending Q&A session and you're getting 60% or more, you're good to go. Just go and take the exam. So yes, these quality of these questions or the difficulty level is slightly higher as compared to real exam. So it is intentional. Like if somebody goes through these questions or solves these questions, then it would be easier for them to solve the real exam. So yes. One question, how did you keep yourself motivated for the preparation? Because one of the challenges for PMP aspirants is to stay motivated and committed to studies with family, friends, job, and a lot of other commitments.
Luckily, so I'm on I'm 100% contract at my job. So, I have one contract that I manage, and we're in a lull right now. So I was able to do a lot of studying at work. So that really helped. Then, I would go home and maybe look at the notes, or I had printed out the printed out the slides from class, and kind of would, do just a cursory overview and be like, oh yeah, I remember that and I remember that. So I think that helped. And then just scheduling the exam and having that drop dead date, I think is probably the most important. Otherwise, like I said, if I hadn't scheduled it, I would still be procrastinating. And then I think it helped. You had interviewed, just like this, you had interviewed one of my classmates, and when she passed, I was like, oh well, shoot, I better get my act in order, because then I'm making myself look bad here.
Yeah, absolutely. And probably this is the greatest advice, like schedule your exam.
Yes.
Set a target.
Yep.
Have a milestone in your mind. So
Yep.
that would, continuously building a pressure on you. Like you have to prepare, you have to manage time. If you don't have deadline, then I have students, very bright students, brilliant in the boot camp. But since they don't have that target, they're delaying. And then, there comes a point when they start forgetting whatever they have learned in the course. So right after the course, schedule your exam. Set a 30 days, 40 days target, depending upon your schedule, and just do it, right?
Absolutely.
All right, great. Delta, is there any advice from your side to PMP aspirants? Anything that you want to tell them who are preparing for PMP exam?
Yeah, for sure. I would say take it at this testing center. I knew I needed to clear my desk, but I didn't realize I had to clear my desk. Like there was not allowed to be anything. He specifically called out my fidget spinner that I have sitting by my monitor. I mean, to that level of why can't you have a fidget spinner sitting there? I mean, I don't plan on using it. It's way out of arm's reach. But yeah, no, I had to take everything off the walls. Like there could be no papers shown. I had to, like I said, I had to clear my desk. No writing utensils, no anything. So definitely take it at the center and just alleviate yourself of that stress. Like we've said, schedule a date so that you have that target to look forward to, and then just study as much as you can, and you know, whatever version that is to you. I am a terrible test taker, so I was concerned about that. And yeah, I just having the material available to me via YouTube and your links that you sent out in the WhatsApp chat, just those are invaluable, absolutely valuable.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why, thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion, because this really motivates individuals who are preparing for the exam. When they listen to this conversation, they're saying, as you were mentioning, one of your fellows in the same group passed exam, then you said, okay, you have to do it. So yes, these resources are really helpful, whether it's a conversation, lessons learned, and especially Q&A. To anyone who is listening, if you want to prepare for PMP exam, just go to the YouTube channel and start from lesson number 1. There are, I think, last night we had 51st session, and today we will be having 52nd. So, I mean, if you go through these sessions, then you are 100% prepared. And these questions are high quality questions in terms of understanding, conceptual clarity, difficulty level. So we spend a lot of time in developing these questions. So for example, for one question, it takes some time, 1 hour to prepare it, because we have to analyze it from multiple perspectives to keep the length of question sufficient enough so that it has some detail, but has some level of, confusion as well, then options, then making it practical. So it takes a lot of time. So yes, if anyone who is preparing for the exam, take the course, go through the mock test, and as Delta mentioned, schedule the exam as soon as possible. If you have the date in your mind, then definitely you'll be doing that. So thank you so much, Delta. One question, it's for me. I checked name on WhatsApp, it's Delta. Here it's Alaska. So am I missing something?
No, I think my WhatsApp is tied to my Google Drive or something, and I think that email address is like Fettus, Alaska or something. So yeah, no, I had set that up for the family like a long time ago, and that's just yeah. So no, my name is Delta. That is correct.
All right, all right. I was like, maybe I was calling you with the wrong name during the boot camp, and after that, all right. Delta, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and thank you for sharing these valuable insight. And
You're welcome. Thank you.
thank you so much. Wish you very best of luck for your future endeavor. You can reach out to me anytime whenever you need any help regarding project management or your work or anything, and we will be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Take good care of yourself. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.